They've added the event. We're in Dimensional Tunnels once you find it. If you enter it and you find that it's the event version, because there's 3 versions of Dimensional Tunnels, there's the event version, normal battle, and elite battle. You can tell if it's an event one if you get an option to select a card at the very start. I think I've gotten both of these cards before, so I'll pick up Portrait of Fury. And then in the events, there is a chance that you'll be able to see the new event. And let's see if we manage to hit it here. And we did. It says Become Void event question mark question mark question mark triggered. Pretty much, if you see this, this means that you will have unlocked the Core of Chaos. Now, we'll go over whether or not it's even worth doing the Core of Chaos, and what you get from doing it, and what you also gain from not doing it. This event question mark triggers on any of the events that can occur in the Dimensional Tunnel first off, so long as it's an actual event. This means that sometimes the trade-off of not taking it can be better. Sometimes it can be pretty bad. Like here, it's a bit rough skipping out on a card epiphany, especially on runs or on certain decks where you need really specific epiphanies. It feels pretty bad skipping the epiphany, and mild spoiler, I guess I would honestly typically go for the epiphany, but I'm going to pick this up just so we can take a look at the event later. And like I said, this happens on any of the events, so if it's one of the ones where it's like decrease stress, there's one of the ones where you either decrease a lot of stress, decrease a little bit. If you get the event in that one, then you might as well pick it up because there are some benefits to taking it. So I'm going to pick it up here, and then I'll see you guys at the end of Interior. Here I am about to kill the Interior boss. Let's finish him off and go check out the core. Just like usual, you kill the boss, you have your copy event, your equipment, plus your loot. Let's see, I mean, I didn't really get the one that I wanted from this run, but we can pick up our equipment. Also, nothing that I particularly want from here. Chaos loot, this is a skip. So now we're going to head to the Core of Discord. It's a much smaller map compared to the other 2 acts. It's just a single event, a campfire with no shop, and then the boss. In the event, it's always going to be this, the identity of Discord from what I've seen, and this event is pretty useless. It's just a heal plus stress decrease. One thing to note is that this is useful in the sense that between bosses, let's say you got kind of messed up by the Sweet Dreams, then even if you have the anxiety modifier, which I do, I cannot rest in safe zones, this does give you an additional heal. You do heal at the end of the act already, but you can get an additional heal plus some stress management, which is nice if you're doing an anxiety run. Anxiety is pretty useful for increasing your tier. And then the campfire, there's no shop, which kind of sucks. So you can't get any extra card removal from the core. All you really get is a rest and potentially a training. I'm going to... Okay, nobody can buy this. Can I back out of this? I guess not. Okay, so much for the training. Now let's take a look at the boss. The boss, honestly, isn't really that hard. I don't think you really need to know what he does. You just kind of hit him, and he'll die eventually. The one thing to note, though, is that it didn't happen here, but one of the benefits to fighting the boss, which I'll show a clip from a different run I did, where the only hunt that I got during this run, I got at Sweet Dreams, so what would normally be the final fight of the Chaos run, but because I had one more fight fighting this additional boss, I was able to get the Epiphany on Oni Hunt. I think on this run I have Epiphanies on almost, there's a couple that I don't have Epiphanies on, I just didn't get any to proc here. So that is one use of this fight. You can use it to proc your Epiphanies. I'm going to show another clip here of the rewards. When you kill the boss, the only reward you get is the, what is this called? The Pure White Fragment. No Chaos Orbs, no Crystal of Discords for you to use in the Blackhorn trade, no Traces of Memory, and no units. Unfortunately, it's just the pure white fragment. And then after you get to the final reward screen, there's no copy event. You don't get a third chance at a copy or anything. It's just the equipment, and yes, you can get a mythic equipment, but I would say that generally the rewards that you get for actually killing this boss aren't super high. But there is one very useful thing about picking up this boss here, because we did kill the Sweet Dreams and we got our chance at a copy, which I hit the right skill. Repose is what I did want to copy, just didn't have the right epiphany on this, unfortunately. What we can do here is we can actually just escape. So we can escape, we'll keep everything that we've gotten up until this point, and the reason that we'd want to do that is so that we can keep our save modifiers for our run. Here we're tier 13, it's not like one of those super OP tier 15 decks, but tier 13 is good enough for most decks. We have Lost 4, Anxiety 1, and Elite 2. We're going to escape, and we're going to take a look at what we have afterwards. This is on a difficulty 8 run. So we got all of our rewards. We got our save data. And you can see that the weapon that I got from killing Sweet Dreams did keep on my Chizuru. And then when I go to difficulty 8 here, I still have it. It's still my tier 13 save data, Lost 4, Anxiety 1, and Elite 2. So I would say that this is probably the best usage of the interior boss. You still fight the boss in case you're missing any epiphanies on a build. It's not useful if you're missing copies or if you need to remove extra things. But if it's a run where you have otherwise perfect, you copied the right epiphany for your other cards, but you're missing just a couple of epiphanies on some other cards, you can go into the boss, check your deck for the spark, and see if you manage to get an epiphany. Get your epiphany, and then escape, get out, and keep your save data, and you can just keep on reusing the save data over and over again. Now, of course, like I mentioned, the downside is that you might have to pass up on a pretty useful event in the Dimensional Tunnel event. If you had it appear on one with actually good choices, like pass up on a card epiphany, a divine epiphany, or just a combatant epiphany if you want to get your cards early. That is the trade-off, but especially if you're running a tier 15 save data or something, or a tier 14 one, just because it costs a lot of pure white fragments to refresh and get those high save tiers. Going for the interior, or the core of Discord unlock, can be very useful for saving you quite a lot of time and a lot of currency, getting the correct tiers for you to run through, while still letting you get your best possible deck, because you do still get the rewards from killing the Sweet Dreams.